Ms. Beyer, a couple of things. I just want to follow up on Senator Hovind's question. The problem with the effective revocation of a permit that had already been granted is the chilling effect that has on developers generally, whether it's wind power or oil and gas or anything else. That was an extraordinary action, and having been an energy developer myself, you spend millions of dollars and months and years to get your permits. And to have a permit effectively canceled after you had gone through that entire process, the concern has to be not necessarily about this particular project, but what this says to developers generally about the reliability and certainty of the permitting process. And I joined with Senator Barrasso and others, Senator Manchin, on permitting reform. I'm very strongly in favor of permitting reform, but a step which withdraws an already issued permit, I hope that you will agree, is a dangerous message to the development community generally.
Senator, I agree with that completely. The community that is developing, that is producing, that is building transmission, the midstream companies that will move our energy across the country, they absolutely need certainty in our permitting systems so that they can make financial investment decisions.
I appreciate that. Let me go on to a different question. Thank you for that answer. You answered Senator Heinrich about conveyance of public lands. You said only Congress can do that. Can I press you a little bit further and say that you will not support the conveyance or transfer of public lands without congressional approval?
Sir, if I am nominated, or if I am confirmed, I will follow the law as directed by Congress. I know that.
But let me talk just in general policy. Do you think there's any justification for the conveyance of public lands in a more general sense? And I don't mean little in-holdings and that kind of thing where we do those things all the time that make total sense. But I'm talking about a more broad program of conveyance of public lands to states or private interests. As a matter of policy, do you support that or do you oppose it?
I believe that not every acre of public land holds the exact same value, and that states know best in how they want to use their public lands. And so
are you saying that you're okay with conveying federal public lands to states? Is that what you just said?
I hope to be a collaborative partner with Congress on that.
Well, I hope you'll take that very seriously because I have grave concerns about conveyance of public lands. It belongs to the public, and the public should have a response, and the public's voice is right here. So in your initial statement, only Congress can do this. I hope that you'll live up to that in your position. Mr. Garish, I've been in a number of meetings recently about SMRs and development of the future of nuclear power. It strikes me that it's not going to happen on its own in the private sector because it's simply too expensive, that there needs to be a kind of Chips and Science Act, if you will, for new nuclear technology with federal support for the first 5 or some number because the expense is so great of developing a brand new a highly complex piece of technology. What are your thoughts on that?
I agree with that completely. The private sector cannot.
And the record show that he said he agreed with me completely. Thank you.
My position on this is that we need to develop a series of mechanisms for financing of reactors. The private sector can do some of this. The loan office can help. That was very helpful in the Vogtle plants, as you know, and has been helpful in other plants that we have. In addition to that, we have to look for other sources of financing and even grants in some cases. And we do have some grant programs currently.
Particularly for the early prototypes.
Getting prototypes to work and to be tested and to demonstrate the materials that you need for licensing. That is a program that we currently have underway and we are going to implement at the Idaho National Laboratory, and that's an extremely important part of the process. We have to get these plants past the first of a kind. We have to build 5 of them or 10 of them to be able to demonstrate that these can be built in factories and we can move forward. So I agree with you. This is a complex matter as to how we go through the process, but we have to look for financing tools and financing interest and people that are interested in doing this, including the government.
Mr. Garish, I really appreciate your willingness to continue to serve and to demonstrate that those of us who remember President Reagan still have something to offer.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Abbey, just very briefly, we need objective data to make good policy. It's as simple as that. And I hope in your position, and I think you have the background to do so, you use the term objective data. That's what's needed. Straight up, honest data without political bias that will then help us to make good policy. Are you committed to objective data?
Absolutely, Senator.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Senator Murkowski, you're up next.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm just